You guys ready to go?
Yep.
Oh,
Let's get this party started.
yes. You are listening to session episode 92 of Primordial Harmony, a retelling of the classic elemental evil story in the Dungeons & Dragons multiverse. My name is Mike, I run this, and tonight I'm joined by...
Hello, I'm Senna and I'm playing Delia the Gnome Wizard.
And I'm Kitties, and I'm playing Hum, the Gnome Bard.
Miles here playing Tadias, behind Osmar Seeger.
And, Nyx will be late. She's playing Vox, the Changeling Rogue.
Hey, it's Zeph, and I play Ezekiel Vitalis, the Fire Genasi fighter.
Alright. When last we left the Excavators, this is a long one, so bear with me. Delia, Hum, Tadias, Vox, and Zachriel, along with Rook, the Snurfneblin, and Lucy the Boulette, are caught by surprise when four specters appear from the rubble of an abandoned mine down in this nexus. They are slain with ease, and in their place, the apparition of a dwarven warrior with a mighty hammer regards the party and points them toward a room they hadn't ventured into yet. Before heading in that direction, Rook reminds the group to check Ironfang, as that it had been some time after Renwick had stopped it from being drawn away with Dispel magic. Sure enough, it was darkening, and Delia stepped up and cast the spell, buying more time. The group then heads towards where the dwarven warrior points. They find a room with a dwarven-made sarcophagus, and within the room is hallowed ground, and the party learns that they can take a measure of safety within its walls. In addition, the sarcophagus is inscribed, among other things, with the phrase, "Bow your head and remember valor," as read aloud by Tadias. Most of the group does that, and a few of them, namely Zachriel, Hum, and Rook, gain the benefits of the aid spell. After that respite, the party heads out of the room's westerly door to find what seems to be another way into the room with the giants shouting at each other. They turn their attention south and find a cavern hall overgrown with fungus. Ever wary, the party waits for Tadias to scout the area with Udarnik, but ultimately decides to skirt the northern part of the room into a black curtain that seems to cordon off the next chamber. They enter and find another junction room with an odd statue of some obscure god of oozes. There's also a moment where we find out Tadias doesn't see a difference between halflings and gnomes. But that issue is put away for another time, as the party heads into the next chamber westward, also cordoned off by the black oily curtain. A black oily curtain. Within they find a lot. The mentioned ziggurat in the identity of Iron Fang, atop it a former Marshal Chanzal and a red-robed figure. To the side, the air cult prophet Aerisi and an entourage of hers, one of which carrying a large sphere containing some sort of elemental energy. Chanzal invited the group in and dismissed both Aerisi and the robed figure he named the new Prophet of Fire. But Hum wasted no time and kicked off the battle with a destructive wave, dispatching nearly all of Aerisi's entourage. The fight was on, and while the new Fire Prophet absconded, Chanzal joined the fray in a mighty struggle. The party dealt a decisive defeat to Aerisi, and the spear she held clattered to the ground. Tadias picked it up and used it against Chanzal, but Chanzal grabbed it and ripped it from Tadias' hand and slammed it into a notch on the wall of the ziggurat. Meanwhile, Hum had her chimes stolen by an invisible creature loyal to Aerisi, but Tadias managed to steal it before the creature could insert the chimes into a notch in the adjacent wall designed for it. Belnar Chanzal held his own against the party with ferocity, but was eventually struck down by Zachriel. But instead of collapsing, Belnar turned into a black mist, the elemental knife he wielded clattering to the ground as the mist streamed into the dark altar. After the battle, a human calls out to the party, Mikal, an artificer from Forstride, one of the inventors of elemental rosin. He had been kidnapped by Belnar during the Knoll incursion in Forstride and had been taken here to do his bidding. One of these was the knife that Belnar wielded, and a strange, maddening dust that was rendered from the black ichor bled by Belnar's very body. The party would learn from Rook that this ziggurat and altar fit the role of the dark influence that had a hand in the previous calamity involving elemental cults and archnementals. When getting a good look at the ziggurat, it became apparent that there was a notch for all 4 of the elemental weapons and their good counterparts, including a trident and a brooch that the excavators had yet to see in the slots for what they would assume to be water-based items. Thaddeus wonders aloud if he would have to attune to the spear in order to remove it from the notch, but Delia went ahead and cast Dispel Magic on the implement, once to release it, and once more to stay the pull of the ziggurat the ziggurat had upon it. The party now has 2 evil elemental weapons. Mikal would essentially beg the party to escort him back to Forstride, so they left the ziggurat chamber with the spear, the orb, and the knife added to their collection, and returned to the hollowed dwarven crypt to rest before pushing out of the Nexus. We return to Kythron the 29th, the evening. The excavators with Rook, Mikal, and Lucy resting. I'm going to take you to the page and do some recording work. So you've not resolved your short rest yet. And I'm here to say, go ahead and do that. But if there anything... yeah, go on.
Hum is going to go ahead and pull out her lute and play Song of Rest as well. That is the suckiest ever.
Oh, man. Well, better than nothing.
Be right back.
There it is. I should probably do that too. There we go.
Alright, got my short rest in.
Alrighty.
Good too.
We're going to continue either when Kitty's comes back from the call or Nyx pops on.
Okie doke. So we've got 5 hours left for Iron Fang and 6 for Windvane.
After the short rest of an hour, it's gonna be less. Windbane will have 5 hours. Iron Fang will have 4. It is a time crunch.
I need to throw some of these in portals. Ooh, we were gonna check out over the rest, identify a wind vane to see how evil it makes us.
Yes,
Do we still want to do that?
it's up to you. You also have that orb, that creepy looking orb with the swirling
Yeah.
mass of
I don't
energy.
use my first levels ever. Let's just pop them out. I'm gonna drop 2 of them and identify both of them.
Okay. You identify both of them. You do that, but I'm gonna wait
We'll
until.
get to it later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
Like throwing up the BRB sign on the recording so that I know to cut out all of this. We started and that we had all this momentum and then it came crashing. Oh well. No problem.
Have you guys know, my Animal Crossing island is getting so cute.
Yeah.
I have a little orchard with like a windy path through it.
Ooh.
It's very scenic.
I like how we have zombies as our beloved allies now.
Yeah. That's the stat block I made for Delia's Dance Macabre.
I love him. His picture is beautiful.
It's just the normal zombie art. We can change that too if you want. We can change the token to something more crazy.
Do you think I would get rid of that beautiful face?
Mm.
Never. Come on in.
Slam?
Oh, that was 2 GM. It was not supposed to be 2 GM.
Oh. Oh, I can. I think. Yeah, you can. Okay. You know how to do that. I hate how it
Sure
defaults to always whisper. Whoa. You guys know about the air quality index at all?
I don't know how it's rated, but I imagine it's poor right now.
Actually, where I am, it's not too bad. But so there's this service called Purple Air where you can get like a sensor and stick it outside or inside, and it's associated with an app, and you get to contribute to this map of dots that have different air qualities numbers, and it gives you a good net image of what the air quality is like in real time. You can and you tell the service whether or not it's inside or outside. So the higher the number, the worse, right? 0 is like perfect, and then 100 is like bad for sensitive groups, and then 150 to 200 is like everybody's effective, and then 200 is like even worse, and it goes up to 500, or it's like emergency conditions if you're out there for any length of time. There's somebody with an indoor sensor that's reading 700.
I have no bearing on what that means.
It means that there's so many particulates in the air that it's toxic, probably.
Oh,
GG.
GG. Open a window.
Hurry.
wouldn't open the window make it worse?
No, because around it, it's significantly better.
Oh. I just turn off your air exchanger.
Right. Alright, well, I want some content, so I will reveal these two things to you since you're casting Identify on both. And by the way, just to remind you, you didn't waste a spell slot with identifying the knife, because Mikhail just straight up told you what it was.
Oh yeah, I didn't
Alright, cool.
mark that one off.
Just making sure. Oh, you already have Windbane. Okay, let me get this thing edited here. Paste. Alright. So you identify Windbane. Windbane. It's a spear, legendary, requires attunement. I don't know why all of this is bold, but it is. A silver spear. Windbane has dark sapphires on the filigreed surface of its polished head, held by a shining haft. The weapon feels insubstantial, as if clutching a cool, gently flowing breeze. The spear contains a spark of Yan Si Bin, Prince of Evil Air. You have a +2 bonus to attack rolls and damage rolls with it, and it also has the finesse weapon property, and when you hit with it, it takes an extra 1d6 lightning. You gain the following benefits when holding Windbane. You can speak Auran fluently. You have resistance to lightning damage. You can cast Dominate Monster on an Elemental once a day. You can use it to do something in the Elemental Air node, which would create something called a Devastation Orb of Air. Once you perform the ritual, Windbane can't be used to perform the ritual again until the next dawn. It would give you a flaw upon attunement. While attuned to the weapon, you gain the following flaw. I break my vows and plans. Duty and honor mean nothing to me. That's Windbane.
Yikes.
It become flighty. That's kind of funny.
I'm gonna edit this so that it's not all bold because it doesn't need to be. Oh.
Show
That's
me the
fine.
orb.
Alright, show you the orb. identifying it.
It's a cool looking spear, though, all the same.
Oh yeah. All these designs are great. Shit. You identify it. Devastation Orb of Air. Devastation Orb is a elemental bomb that can be created on the site of an elemental node by performing a ritual with an elemental weapon. The type of orb created depends on the node used. For example, this. The ritual takes an hour to complete and requires 2,000 gold worth of special components, which are consumed. The Devastation Orb measures 12 inches in diameter, weighs 10 pounds, and has a solid outer shell. Solid as in, like, you can't crack it open. The orb detonates, well, you can. The orb detonates 1d100 hours after its creation, releasing the elemental energy it contains. The orb gives no outward sign of how much time remains before it will detonate. You back, kitties? Oh, I heard an echo. I thought she was back. Spells such as Identify and Divination can be used to ascertain when the orb will explode, which, by the way, is 20 hours.
Oh.
An orb has an AC of 10, 15 hit points, and immunity to poison and psychic damage. The orb is immune to all damage if it's within the node of origin or the Fane of the Eye, which is what this dungeon is called, the Nexus of the Cult. Reducing it to 0 hit points causes it to explode instantly. A special container can be crafted to contain it. It must be inscribed with symbols of the orb's opposing element. So, Earth. If it is removed from the container after the time when it was supposed to detonate, it explodes 1d6 rounds later, unless returned to the container. Its effect is contained within a sphere of a 1-mile radius. The orb is the sphere's point of origin. The orb is destroyed after one use. So the air orb, when it detonates, it creates a powerful windstorm that lasts an hour. Whether a creature ends its turn, whenever a creature ends its turn exposed to the wind, it must succeed on a DC 18 con save or take 1d4 bludgeoning damage. You can imagine that standing out in that windstorm for an extended period of time would not be good for you.
That's a mile long.
The wind is strong enough to uproot weak trees, destroy light structures, and after at least 10 minutes of exposure. Otherwise, the rules for strong wind apply. Which I pasted in there. So you also have a ticking time bomb with you. Kitties, I hope you come back soon. Oh, needy person, I didn't see that.
Aw, beans.
Ah, beans. I'll just repeat myself again, I guess. Okay, so over the short rest, Mikhail is sitting over on the edge of the wall, and he looks nervous. He's tapping his feet, and he's sort of wringing his hands.
What's up?
He says, I saw Belnar do some terrible things on that altar. It's not like he tortured anyone on it, but he is like self-mutilation. And he made me watch all of it.
Ooh.
And he looks down, he says, I don't know if I'm going to be myself after this is over.
It's a pretty traumatic thing to live through.
Time heals all wounds, friend.
I hope so. And then he kind of cranes his neck and looks out the door. And then kind of takes a few steps over here and looks through this door. It's going to be dangerous getting out of here.
I think we killed most of everything on the way here.
might have another problem.
Well, don't keep it to yourself.
I point to the orb that I was identifying, and I say, that might kill everyone.
What do you mean might kill everyone?
In 20 hours, that orb is going to explode. And it's going to bring a mile-long torrential kind of like wind that will probably tear apart almost anyone that's unfortunate enough to be in the center of it.
We have a bomb?
I don't sound so excited.
It's not a weapon I think we should use. There's no friend, foe, there's no aiming it. It is killing everything that is stuck.
No. This. I don't. We should probably take care of this sooner rather than later. I don't enjoy the idea of having a bomb with us.
How does this bomb work?
They made it, and after a certain amount of time, it triggers, and then wind comes from it, a storm, if you will. It is wide, large, and the problem is that anyone in the center of it will slowly be ripped to shreds. The outskirts, people might be able to escape, but anyone at the center of it is doomed.
Okay, well, it's kind of frightening they have the ability to do this sort of thing, but
And
it's,
I am curious as to where they intended to use it.
Do you
Mikhail,
think
go on.
Do you think they have more of them?
No. It's made with the wind spear. It can only be done every once in a while. And it also costs 2,000 gold pieces to make. So there is that in the way.
Mikhail
it's
kind
called.
of
Go ahead.
Mikhail stares at the orb with his eyes wide, and he says, "Well, you heard what Chanzal said? He said, bring it to the city."
I think that's the last thing we're going to do.
Well,
How do you stop an air bomb? Do you just
I
throw
don't
it in
think
the
you.
sky, or-
I don't think you do," says Rook.
I think we find somewhere where it is safe to detonate it.
I mean, Mikhail says, I mean, we've got 20 hours. It shouldn't take that long to get out of here. Once everyone's patched up, we can.
Well, yeah. Are you suggesting leave it here?
He furrows his brow and he says, "Not exactly." He says, "We're in the middle of the Nearthal woods. That's where, at least that's where he took me."
Okay, that's where we came in. Okay.
And Rook says, "Well, don't forget when Ferric was pointing to the map. He said the source, and then he pointed to that clump of trees.
Yes,
Is that the Nearthal woods?"
That is.
So, Mikhail says, we could just put it in the plains next to it. It'll just tear up the grass.
I had a thought. Rook.
Yeah.
You could walk into walls, right?
All I can.
What if you left that air bomb inside a wall?
I don't know.
I mean, because then you could leave it down here, and the cult wouldn't find it, right?
No, probably not. I can't imagine what it would do to the rock, though. Would the storm burst from the rock?
I have no idea. Tadaius, you're an ancient ruin man. Would that happen?
This thing seems to have some sort of connection to this place. I don't know what it would do.
I see. Well, I guess we could just throw it in the plains like you suggested. Just point it away from Force Ride, I guess. Is that how it works, or does it explode outward?
It's outward. It's got a mile radius. We could, in theory, watch it. It's just we can't leave it anywhere. If they can get to it, they can get places where it can cause damage very quickly.
Okay. Well, my problem with coming out in the Nurto woods is we're going to leave those elementals in the carts back where we found them.
There is also one other small consideration. In here, we can't really damage it, but once we leave here, it can be popped.
Oh. Does that mean if we leave it here, it will eventually detonate, or it doesn't happen here?
It's hard to say. I think it would detonate, but it can't be damaged here. If we
Nice.
leave with it, it can be damaged and it can be detonated unintentionally.
Well, this is all very strange. What do you want to do with it? Not to risk taking it with us, or...
Where is the earthen portal?
Are you asking somebody that?
They're just out in the crowd because I think we found it once, or we know where of it.
I don't know.
You did not locate an Earth portal.
So we haven't found the earthen one yet.
You have not.
What's the name of this guy again? The artificer?
Oh, Mikhail. Hold on. His nameplate should be visible, but it's not. I gotta make sure to... There we go.
Mikhail, if we lead you to the engines where you came from, do you think you can make it to Force Thread on your own, or do you need us to...
His eyes go wide, and he says, the militia defectors, they're all throughout the forest. They have little camps. They also seem to have conscripted goblinoids with them.
Goblinoids, like goblins, or the bigger ones? Hobgoblins?
Both.
But Vardic would be happy to hear that. Or Mad, whichever. Anyway, well, wouldn't it be wiser if we took you back through the path that we know is safe? It would take us longer to get to Fort Stride. You wouldn't have to put your life on risk going through a wood that is surrounded with enemies.
There's another exit?
Well, yeah, the way we came.
Is it possible that we could detonate this thing outside of Orboro?
Oh, we could do it in the mountains, up by the monastery.
That way we don't have to abandon the carts, and we know it's clear because we cleared the way.
And, I mean, what damage is the wind going to do in the mountains?
Probably just break down some of the crags a little bit, but whatever erosion will happen in 2 years will happen in an hour. I think
Okay.
that's not a bad exchange, he says.
Yeah, I think that works. Yeah, you see, Macau, we entered through the mountain ranges north of Orboro. That's how we got here.
Oh, he says.
Through a sacred, through this monastery that the cultists believe is sacred, I believe.
Well, if we don't have to risk ourselves. And it means that we probably don't have to run into more of, the cultists that follow the elf. We don't have to run into more of them either. The way they
The
took...
elf.
The one with the spear?
Oh, she's dead.
Well, I know. What I'm saying, well, what I wanted to say was, the way they took me, there was another tunnel that led further below, I think. I didn't see it, but there were some of, her servants and, I guess cultists coming out from that as well.
Okay. We dealt the serious blow to her. There's probably not many of them, to be honest. We did kill a lot of those air cultists.
He just kind of nods at that. Well, at least we know where how to get to the air side of things, says Rook.
Yeah, you could go that way, or you could also go through the mountain range to the south of Forstride. This is where we found them first.
I'd rather go the safe way, says Mikal.
Yeah, I mean, there is one potential danger that way, but we haven't seen her the last 2 times we went through that tunnel, so should be fine.
He looks back and forth. Who?
There's a
dragon.
Yeah, she's a dragon, and she is like... She looks really cool, but she can, like, pop people's heads with her brain. It's a little wild, and we're trying to avoid her.
She leaves behind these amethyst crystals. Very nice.
Sounds like both aren't the best choice either.
Yeah, but we have the carts there. They're very fast.
I'll defer to you, I suppose.
What are we gonna do about this portal?
Have we found it? Mikal, do you know where this portal is?
No, the only part of the complex I've seen is where you've taken me and the way out to the Nearthal Woods.
If only we had some way of tracking portals. If only someone was a Horizon.
No Horizon Walkers here.
Mikal, are you sure?
Surprise, I'm a ranger. No.
I mean, we can retcon a bunch, right?
I mean, there's still a bunch of this place you haven't explored yet, so.
Alright, what do we want to do? We need to make a decision. Get moving.
I'm fine with the mountain plan. We have 20 hours to deal with this, and then we can deal with other things.
I think it's wise if we go to the mountain that we either get a message to Gordon or to Renwick to inform them of the forces sitting in the Nerto Woods.
I can't send any sendings until we long rest without potentially... I can only cast 2 more Dispel Magics. So...
Tom pipes up and says, she says that she has plenty of slots to cast a spell magic with. Looking at her sheet, she's got like 3 3rd levels. She went all out with her 5th levels, but she has her 3rds and 4ths left over.
Say,
I've only got a single 5th level and a single 4th level left.
Say, Mikal, you're you make things, right?
Yes?
Is it possible to make like a box that keeps suppressing magic?
It is.
Do you think that's something you could do for us?
I don't have any materials with me, but it's possible. If I can get to my workshop in Forstride.
All right. See, that could help us, right?
It would immensely help us. But we should deal with the thing that can kill the entire town first.
Yes, I agree. And I mean, we don't need to send a sending to Renwick. We could just go there after we deal with the orb. It's only south of Orboro, right? Or it's only south to Orboro.
We think it best to save whatever resources we need for the weapons. We don't want to be back here soon.
Agreed. Or we could stay here and look for that portal and throw that thing into it. We could throw both of them into it. That and Iron Fang.
I mean, the portals are like portals to other planes, right?
Yes, says Rook. If it's following the same pattern as last time. It connects right to the domain of each associated Ocnomental.
What if we if we throw it through, we might hurt people on the other side,
Well, yeah, but it's
or elementals on the other side.
to my understanding of what Rook just said, it just connects right to the bad guy.
Something you should be aware of too is if they're following the same pattern from the stories my father told me, there are going to be more adversaries in the elemental nodes.
Hmm. Decisions.
I feel is we have to deal with the bomb first. If it wasn't here, we would know what we'd do. We'd be looking for the portals, but
Yeah.
if it's damaged, if there's something that could take it from us, it's too dangerous to allow them any access to it.
That's true. Needs to be taken care of as soon as possible.
Right, I defer to your wisdom. Let's go.
Alright, so you guys are heading out the way you came. Okay. Alright. Alright. That's a strange DM. Anyway, I'm a strange DM. So you guys...
Sorry, it was me. I'm
Hello.
doing weird. I was typing on my keyboard, on the wrong keyboard.
Oh. Are you back?
I am back, sorry.
Okay. That's okay. To bring you up to speed. By the way, I've not heard from you at all, Nick, since you joined the call. Hello.
Oh, I'm here.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi. Okay, so to bring Kitties up to speed on this whole dire thing, the orb that Aerisi's entourage was carrying is a Devastation Orb of Air, and it's a bomb. If it goes off, it'll create a mile-wide radius of, a mile radius, I think. Was it mile wide or mile radius? Either way, huge area that is essentially a Cat 5 hurricane without the rain that would just shred anything in its path to bits for as long as it stayed in there. And it's going to explode in 20 hours. So there's this whole conversation on what to do. Mikal was like, I want to get out of here. And I think the decision we reached was that you guys would head back the way you came, up that obelisk into the Earth Temple, or Earth Cult Lair. It was not really...
Yeah, I heard that part. I've been here for about 10 minutes.
Okay.
You're listening.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So, Mike, just real quick,
Uh-huh.
as like a flavor question,
Mm-hmm.
if we put a tiny hut right outside the bomb, should we watch it?
Shit. Okay, so Tiny Hut. What does Tiny Hut do again?
Blah blah blah. 9 creatures, medium size, and spell fails. And creatures and objects in the dome of the creatures and objects are barred. Spells and other magical effects can't extend through the dome or be cast through it. The atmosphere inside the space is yeah. There's literally nothing. Literally nothing. It's not a structure. It's a magical thing. Yeah. I would. I want to say you have to do it and see, but I don't know if I want to be that dickish.
We can go into the hills safely and then do it. And
Tell
then
you,
laugh at it.
yeah. Tell you what. I mean, this is Delia's call.
Okay, guys. So I think it would be a good idea, since there's 20 hours left on this bomb, either we monitor the location of the bomb so that nobody can come pick it up, or we detonate it ourselves. And like I can cast Tiny Hut and maybe it'll work, hopefully.
As soon as we're out of here, we can detonate it.
I like the sounds of that. Maybe, I hope. Sounds good. But it's better than walking around with it and someone else exploding it.
I agree with you there, says Rook. Alright, so you guys head out. You walk up the obelisk and you return to the Temple of Black Earth. That's the official dungeon name. You walk through the halls. Okay, so let me ask you something. Are you guys going to visit that area with Ferric again? Or are you just going to blast on by without really interacting with it? The moat of elemental energy where you met the ghost dwarf that was made of dust.
Well, he wanted us to go like through a portal or something, didn't he?
He was just distraught about his old kingdom being taken and destroyed by the calamity. And then he was like, please clear my old home of cultists. And to put him to rest is what I was trying to convey.
I don't want to disappoint him.
I'm
But
just
I mean,
asking.
we'll come back.
Yeah, I'm just asking if you're interacting with him or not.
I think it's not necessary right now.
Okay.
We haven't finished what we're dealing with him. You know, we haven't finished taking out these cultists.
Right. Okay. So you just mosey on by.
We'll be back. So he's not thinking we're deserting him.
Oh, it's a ghost. I don't care.
I mean,
I would have to call him up anyways. It's not like he just came out.
I'm really trying to like just Adam West Batman bomb, like carry this entire thing out and deal with it first. That's all it is.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys scurry up. You just skirt through the elemental, or by the node of air energy that's in this earth cult place. It hasn't been that long because. Oh, and by the way, the time for the evil weapon bonds ticks down after that rest. So Windvane has 5 hours. Oh wait, did I already do that? I did already do that. Never mind. 6 hours for Windvane and 5 hours for Iron Fang. You guys make your way back to the Earth Cult place. The carts are still there. You are back in that junction where there's the cavernous tunnel that leads to the Sacred Stone Monastery ruins, and the tunnel that leads up into the mud pit. A huge mud pit in the middle of the Maastricht Mountains. Rook says, hey, wouldn't it be kind of cool if we chucked the thing into the mud pit? Oh, maybe that's not such a good idea.
Okay. What, like a mud twister? Or?
I mean, it's huge. It's miles wide.
Like a mud hurricane?
Yeah, you know what? Never mind. I don't want to be responsible for mud being flung and hurting life that lives in the mountains. Never mind.
So, are we trying this hot thing, Delia?
Are you guys still in the cavern? Where you?
We are right now.
Okay. Just tell me when you're gonna do this.
Are we thinking underground or overground? Because overground's safer for us, I feel.
I'll be overground, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's hop on the cart. Let's skedaddle to, like,
Okay.
surface.
So, just so you guys know, it's evening. You have been traveling and then fighting for a good part of the day. And you were getting tired. If you want, you can push through the night to get to the Sacred Stone Monastery ruins, but I will have to call for I have to call for. Actually, I wouldn't really have to because you guys would be traveling by cart. It's like I don't want to get into the idea of
Traveling by train.
well, somebody has to drive the thing. But I guess it's doable to take shifts in a way.
Yeah, catnaps.
You have three carts to your name here. So you'd have to this is not the kind of game I want to play. Figure out shifts. Okay. Catnaps, doable. You guys figure out some kind of schedule. So people can rest and chill out on the way back. And it's not the best night's sleep you ever had. But it takes 7 hours to go through this tunnel. The same leftover crystals, the same amethyst crystals that you saw before are there, but you don't see any other sign of Miladiris.
So if we don't bump into anything and we're doing this like long rest of catnaps, do they get to use all the remaining spells to spell magic on the evil things?
It would work out to where, because like I'll let you cast, like you wake up in the middle of the night, cast a spell, and then keep sleeping. I'd let you have a long rest in regards to your spells. It would work out that way. So at some point along the trip, you would have to cast dispel magic on both of these things.
I'll use a 5th level spell slot on it.
I mean, you don't have to do that. I have 3 3rd level spell slots that I can use.
Oh, I know. Just to give us like some extra, because a 5th level is 10 hours, so it gives us a good like extra 4 hours before we even have to start worrying about it.
So you have 2 weapons. So which one are you casting that on?
Do you guys think Wind Vein would be better, since we're hopefully gonna be throwing Iron Fang into a portal sometime soon?
Well, are we, or are we heading back?
The Force
I'm
Drive, that
confused.
is.
Because we need to get this guy the Force Drive, and he's gonna hopefully be able to make us box.
That's true. I'll do it on Iron Fang then.
Okay. So let's see. About 5 hours into your trip, I'm just gonna reveal this now because you guys have been along this track enough times to where you kind of know the shape of it. So I'm gonna make this visible. Yep. I should probably put this on the map later. There we go. So about here, as you are earth carts along, somebody wakes Delia up and she casts that spell on what was it? Which one?
Iron Fang.
Iron Fang after it's about to run out. And it buys you 10 hours of time. Where Windbane still has 1 hour. You guys get to the part Another hour passes. You spend the night traveling. This is kind of like, yeah, basically a train ride, where some of you have to drive. So go ahead and give yourselves long rests. Don't forget that you only get half your hit dice back. You guys arrive back at the Sacred Stone Monastery ruins, just as Windvane is about to darken to its end. So who casts what, if anything?
I'll cast a 4th level Dispel Magic.
Okay. So 8 hours on Windvane, and Iron Fang now has 9 hours. You guys arrive back at the Sacred Stone Monastery ruins. The place is still torn up. It's deserted. There's nobody around. It is a few miles out of Warborough. What do you do? It is now the morning of Kythron the 30th. I should mark that. Oops. I'm gonna change the music to something nicer. You guys get out in the morning. Yeah, that's right. Magic item stuff comes back.
Oh, yes.
And it's a clear day. You're only about a couple hours out of Warborough by cart. There's
Alright, so
13 hours left on the bomb.
the monastery was cleared out, right?
Yeah, it's deserted. And Renwick stuff's cleared out too. You have 13 hours left on the bomb. Actually, yeah, 13 hours.
So we could, in theory, use like the cleared area by the monastery to trigger it.
You could.
Do the tiny hut, set up like a string above it, and then just put a candle underneath it and just run away like little kids.
I mean, I'm down for that.
Yeah, I'm down for whatever.
Sounds fine. I mean, what could go wrong?
Yeah, what's the worst that could happen?
Probably very large debris being shot into our faces.
But if we're in a tiny hut.
No, it's going in the tiny hut.
Oh.
Wait, you're putting the
Oh.
thing into the tiny hut?
Oh, I meant like we are inside the tiny hut and it explodes outside of us.
I was thinking it
That's
can't
what
go
I
through,
thought.
so you have just a little wind chamber.
Things can leave the tiny hut. Things can't
Yeah,
go
things
in.
can leave. It can't go in.
So you just want
Oh, though it does say spells and other magical effects can't extend through the dome or be cast through it.
That's right.
God.
So,
So literally, you put it on the
I
ground,
mean,
and
technically, we could do that.
Yeah, but doesn't Delia have to stay inside it?
Oh, I do.
Yeah,
That's
you do.
right. I'm sorry, guys, but I'm not laying on the grenade for this one.
wait, you have to stay inside it. You can never leave.
If she leaves,
Yes.
it goes away.
This is your Captain America moment.
Oh man, you guys.
That doesn't need to happen.
I think it's gonna be better if we don't do that. So yeah, I guess we just make the bomb shelter, get everybody inside, and trigger the thing.
So I don't know if Lucy can fit in there with you.
Yeah, but she can dig underground.
It's true. So
Yeah, we can send her on a foraging trip.
We can
To
still
get
walk a mile
ores.
away.
walk a mile away and do what? Like, how are you going to trigger it? Or are you just going to leave it put?
I was joking about it, but I technically could set up like a little rat trap, like a candle underneath rope, burn thing, drop thing on top of it, kind of triggering system if I wanted to.
Oh yeah, you could use fall damage to make it go kaboom.
Yeah, just quite literally like put it on the edge of the monastery and just trigger it like Pee Wee Herman style.
How
But
far away would it be from it?
A mile. It has a mile radius.
Mile radius.
it's so big.
2 miles across is not insignificant.
And what does that mean? I mean, how far is Orboro from?
You're about 8 miles out of Orboro.
Okay. It just looks closer on the map.
It's because the icon for the excavators is to scale 3 miles wide. So.
Awesome. Yes. So we're already wide enough. We got this.
Be thick.
So, if you want to send Lucy just a mile off to say hi, and then we all hop in the dome and just do this thing, I'm down.
How long is it for, too?
An hour.
So
How long
I'm
is
going to
this?
send Lucy out exploring for food. It should take her about an hour to find enough ore to fill her belly.
Okay, what's this look like? Or like, what do you say to her? I want to have an itty bitty scene here.
So Hum grabs Lucy by her face. Little tiny gnome wraps her arms around her face and says, "You go hunting. Don't come back till I call you."
She blinks and then cocks her head. How are you gonna?
Food.
How are you gonna
we
call
can-
her? Says
we
Rook.
can take care of this, Hum, if you just want to go with her.
But that puts me in a precarious position by myself. What if we run into the Melindres?
Lucy can protect you and like burrow through the ground away.
Lucy-
Well, in theory, how many people do we need to trigger the bomb? We only need one. We need you here, Delia. So I can go with them if Zachariel stays here with you.
I don't have any like. I can't like cast spells through it. I don't have any like ammunition or things that'll like actually physically hit it to cause it to pop.
She needs you with her. So why doesn't
Rook says.
Zachariel come with me?
Rook says. Rook says. You could also just have Lucy go beneath the ruins into the tunnel. It'll be a powerful windstorm, but it's not going to eat through. It's not going to eat through. What is that? And then he looks at it. 30 feet of rock.
Yeah, I mean, Lucy can just burrow. Why doesn't she just dig underneath where we have the dome?
So I would come back when the storm is over?
And
There's
then we can just
also-
stomp in the ground to get her to come up.
You all also know that there's an entire complex beneath the Sacred Stone Monastery. There's the underground part that you entered through
Yeah.
the first time.
Yep.
Sounds good. I mean, we could put her down there.
It's a good idea.
So just tell her to wait there and you just come back for her.
Well, maybe I should bring her there and tell her to wait. But then again, she might follow me out.
And she seemed pretty good at waiting when we first got her.
True. So, Hum orders her down to the bottom of the Sacred Stone Monastery.
Okay. she goes into the room where you guys fought that wounded Umber Hulk with the red floor. If I were a cruel DM, I'd like have her come back during the windstorm and like die in front of you, but I don't do that, so you don't have to worry about that. I'm cruel enough to think about it, but not cruel enough to do it. So,
Thanks for the idea.
you're welcome.
Even those DMs, I think, would make a check at least.
So, yeah, what's the trap? What's this whole setup look like?
Well, since they just want to like shoot it through it, I mean, I would rather still do my little rat trap, like, you know, trigger thing, just because it gets us a little bit more distance. So if all else fails and the hut doesn't work, we can still maybe escape before death.
Yeah, that's probably good.
So just in case, you know. So let me see what I have in my stuff, because I have a bunch of miscellaneous crap because I throw things to hurt people. And could you show me the spell card for it again for the item, or is it still revealed to us?
It's in magic items. I mean, I can just do this. Hang on.
I'll grab it. I just didn't. I want to know how much damage I had to do to it.
15 hit points.
Yeah, I think the drop is the best play. So I'm gonna go into the monastery and I'm gonna smash up some of the tables and grab some pieces of wood.
Yeah.
Trying to think of the most inane and dumb way of doing this.
No problem. I'm excited to hear what contraption you come up with.
Well, I think it's just getting flung off the like ceiling of it. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm gonna make a little ramp and then trigger it to like open up the gate for it to drop off the side.
This is fantastic.
Yeah. But I'm essentially making like a marble path, like when you put the marbles on those little ramps, like the
Yeah,
two boards,
I know what
like
you're talking
this,
about.
and it's just kind of rolling off the side.
The inclined
Plane.
Well, I know how I'm triggering it. Actually, I don't need a rope. I have familiars.
Ah, I see.
So
It's 10 pounds. Can your familiar lift 10 pounds?
no,
Or trigger
but
the thing. Never mind.
That's exactly it.
All right.
This whole process takes Tadias an hour, so I'm ticking down the clock for Iron Fang and Windfang, or Iron Fang and Windvane. Jesus.
Excellent. And I'll probably ask Delia to use Nathan because Nathan's got a little bit more heft.
Oh, Nathan's dead.
Oh, you did.
You don't have the components to summon a new one, a new Nathan.
No, I do not, and I also do not have the spell prepared.
You don't have to have it prepared, but the components do
Ritual.
make a difference.
Find familiar isn't a ritual, so I
Yes,
can't
it is.
cast it.
About to blow my mind right now.
No, it's a ritual. It just has weird like gold components.
Yeah, it's ritual.
Well, it's not marked as a ritual on my thing. I'll fix that.
And we have plenty of gold.
You gotta buy it though.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
need incense and stuff.
All right,
So, yeah.
so but
The trap essentially sets off an oil flask that I have, and using the sacred brandy booze in order to burn off the little tiny rope that I have tied to hold the ball against the little tiny L-shaped thing that is holding it, about to jettison off the side of this monastery.
all right.
And I'm doing this very delicately as I'm essentially playing like, you know, Plinko with a bomb. So the idea will be, how do I get a dragonfly to light a match?
Maybe the dragonfly carries a lit candle?
It's cute. I mean, I can also do it and just give it enough of like a coil away where it has like a trail to follow and burn and just haste run all the way back to you all. I think I'd rather do that than like risk my dragonfly, honestly.
I have Dimension Door too.
Okay, so we'll do that. I think you and I. Well, I'm not your size.
I think I ruled that you could do it one size up if you're a small creature, just because otherwise the spell's kind of meaningless.
Gotcha. Then, if you'd like to, we can trigger this thing and then just right over next to the hut and walk in. So, cast hut, get there, light it, run back to hut with Dimension Door. All in?
Got it.
Sounds like a flawless plan to me.
It sounds really hodgepodge, but we'll make it work.
All right.
Just for funsies, I'm going to set up a bunch of rocks underneath it where it's going to land.
Sure.
For funsies.
All right. So, trying to think of. Yeah. I don't have any good, cool music for this, but it happens. As Udarnik lights the match, gets the oil going, burns the rope, and then Tadias and Hum bamf back to the tiny hut and enter. And then you hear the sound of glass shatter, and then just this dust picks up, and you can't see the sun as this wind batters, but you're completely comfortable inside the tiny hut as it just blows and blows, and like a rocks pelts the side of the tiny hut and just flip over it like it's nothing. About 20 minutes into this windstorm, Delia, you get ascending.
Uh-oh.
It's from Renwick. Something strange is going on at the monastery. Is that you? Are you all right?
I will reply, yes. The air cult had an orb of devastation, and we are safely dispatching it.
A few moments later, during this intense windstorm, get another sending from Renwick. And it says, Air cult? Weren't you delving into... Actually, no, he doesn't say that. He says you'll have to tell me more when you return.
You got it, and then I'll, like... I wish you could send emojis, because I'd just give him the thumbs up.
I feel like you could think a gesture and it would count as a word. Maybe. Something you can do with your hands. No joy emojis or anything.
Or joy.
No, I'm talking about the thing with the teary-eyed laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, and... So, an hour passes, and it dies down, and it's as if the whole surroundings had been subject to 2 years of weather and time. Everything is smoothed down, and the spires that surround the I can actually show you guys this. The spires that sort of the rock spires that sort of surround the Sacred Stone Monastery, they look much different now. picture. It's a really good one. Yeah, here we go. So, they were once sort of smooth, striated rocks. Some of them are striated. Some of them look like they're all part of the same geological period. But now you see they all have these pock marks in them. They kind of look like... oh shit, what the fuck? No. Copy image.
I'll be right back.
Oof. Putting this into pictures. They all kind of look like that. When before they were solid.
Oops.
Wow, Rook says, looking out. It's a good thing we did it here instead of in a town. It probably would have torn up the grasses if we'd done it in a plain.
He's done. And if we can get rid of Windwind, it won't be able to be done again. My worry is, though, these items, if they have the money, might be able to create more of these bombs.
Can you imagine what the other ones are like? My God.
I guess we better get going. Returns under the monastery and grabs Lucy, who is chewing on like some bit of stone, some bit of precious metal you guys missed the last time you were here. She bleats. And Mikal just kind of looks nervously at the rest of you. And he has the sort of demeanor of, are we going?
So what are we doing next?
Well, I think the wise plan would be to bring Macau back to Forstride. We could regroup and then clear out the Northville woods and get back inside that place.
I like this idea.
We still need to find those portals, but also hopefully Mikhail can make us that magic suppressant box.
I'll do my best, he says. How is Forstride? When Chanzal took me, there were gnolls everywhere.
All those gnolls are dead.
Well, that's good.
It was a hard battle.
He then gives a shake, and he says, I'm worried now if Chanzal would decide to send the defectors to attack next.
The militia and the Way Shields are working together fairly closely now. So I think Forstride should be a little safer.
Oh. He relaxes a bit. We're gonna hop on the cots and get back to, what was it, Orboro?
Yes, you can. I bet you'd love to have a drink, wouldn't you?
Rook
Nice hot meal.
said to Tadias the drink part.
I mean, none of these sound like a bad thing.
I could go for a drink.
Alright. So you guys hop on the earth carts and take a nice earthy drive back to Orboro.
Did we grab Lucy?
I narrated that Hum grabbed Lucy.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Because I have to be a responsible pet owner or Zachary will yell at me.
Once again, only a day later, you return to Orboro in mid-morning. I need to look up. Let's take 5. I need to look up some stuff. Let's see. Mm-hmm. Back! Yeah! I need to come up with vehicle stats for these carts.
You could just base them off like similar to the Infernal War Machines in Avernus.
Hello.
Hi. Can you link me the stats to that? Okay. Calculations are hard to do on air. Yeah, I did that. Okay. Who's here?
Present?
Me.
Me.
Nix?
Hello.
Did Nix BRB?
Looks like it.
Okay. here for now. Yeah. Alright. The Earth Elemental Hauling Carts, otherwise known as AH! Can go 13 miles an hour over flat natural terrain. It can hold up to 5 medium creatures. It has an AC of 16 and an HP of 100, and it probably is immune to psychic and poison damage. Actually, it's not. Because there's an Earth Elemental driving it.
I'm back.
Hello. And I'll come up with more stats as they become relevant. So you guys are in Orboro. We're back. I need to take those things away. You're back in Orboro. A couple of guards see you. They regard you kindly. What do you do?
Wave.
Cool. They wave back and smile.
Time for booze. Time for booze.
It is mid-morning.
Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. It's time for booze.
It's time for booze in the morning.
Mimosas for all.
I'll take mine on the rocks.
I was gonna put extra whiskey in yours.
That works as well. You just wanted the rock pun because we are in Oddboro.
I think
I mean,
could
do you
use
want
one
real
as well.
rocks?
Are they cold?
We could make them cold.
Sure.
Cold rocks it is. I'm guessing you don't want a whole lot of champagne and orange juice in your mimosa, just the whiskey?
That works.
So you guys park your carts, Hum and Tadias go towards the Hammer and Tongs Tavern.
I look at Lucy and I say, stay with the carts.
Rah! She then looks at them, looks back, and then huddles as if to protect the carts.
See, I'm a responsible pet owner.
That tavern doubles as an inn, right?
It does.
Okay. I'm gonna take Mikal. Are you hungry?
He looks down, and anyone within 10 feet of him can hear an audible gurgle. Yes, he says. Yes, I am.
Alright, well, let's get you some food.
And booze.
Delia, would you like to join us, or do you need to go see,
I should probably go fill him in.
Yeah, just fill them in.
You know, keep him in the loop.
Yes.
Alright. Who's going to the tavern? Who's going to see Renwick?
Delia, make sure you, ask him about the forest to the south.
About how it's on fire?
Yes.
Okay. I will.
Do we still see a lot of smoke coming from the south?
You see, let's see. It is thinned significantly. It's still hazy, but you can see more blue inside it.
Probably a good sign.
I will go and find Renway.
Alright, hang on a second. I'm trying to do some scene dressing here. on. Please drag the thing. The thing. Okay.
Touch the thing.
Julie, do the thing.
I prestidigitation myself a little bit to look a little bit more presentable.
The prestidigitation shower.
Yeah.
Are we at the tavern yet?
Yeah, you're at the tavern. You enter the tavern.
I walk in as I enter next to Dadias and I say, 2 drinks, 1 for me and 1 for my friend who doesn't know the difference between a gnome and a halfling.
Coming up. And then he kind of gives Tadias a look, like a questioning look.
I kind of shrug.
This will do.
So are you going to tell me the difference, or are you just going to chastise me for being ignorant?
I thought we could have some drinks and talk about that.
So, what is the difference between a gnome and a halfling?
So you've seen my friend Gizo, right?
Yes. He's a very nice gnome.
He's a halfling.
Okay.
And you know what Delia and I look like, right?
Yes, you are both gnomes, right?
We are. Do you see my cute little pointy ears?
Yes.
Halflings do not have pointy ears.
So you are like a halfling elf?
No, I am a gnome.
Okay. So, shorter person, pointy ears, gnome.
Yes.
Short person, round ears, halfling.
Yes.
Okay. And what background difference diverged the race in such a way?
Come again?
Like, do they come from the same lineage? Did they separate like elves the way, like, high elves and wood elves and
They are not related. Gnomes are gnomes. And halflings are halflings. Just because we're short doesn't make us all the same race.
That wasn't really his question, though. Mikal butts in. And then he looks at Tadias and he says, the whole lineage isn't really well understood.
Alright, as long as I don't offend anybody, I will make sure to call them the right thing. Thank you for the instruction. But I will be moving hair aside people when they are shorter to make sure I get this right, I guess.
Perhaps you should ask them what they prefer to be called. Identified as.
That's what names are for. I usually call them names.
Well, you shouldn't call people names. You should call them by their name.
I was going to say the same thing.
I'm curious to the difference of this as well.
Well, you know.
Halflings tend to be the same color as humans. Gnomes, you notice how my skin is a little bit different color? And you look at Rook, and he's a little bit of a different color. And you look at Delia, she's a little bit different of a color.
Where are you going with that?
Crad, the innkeeper, looks at McCall and says, "Hey, bud, you look like you could use a shower."
He could use some food too. Give him whatever he asks for. It's on me.
Oh, all right. He looks at McCall.
Well,
Pickings are a little slim right now, but we do have some goat steaks served with peas and grains. Anything, says McCall. On it. And he goes back into the kitchen. You hear some shouts of orders, like food orders, not "I order you to do this" kind of order. And kitchen work starts.
Where
There's
we
no-
learned this guy is Gordon Ramsay.
Maybe. It is early morning, so there's nobody in here.
You know,
Hmm.
getting to your point about the different skin colors, both of my parents are human.
But they're not gnomes.
Well, yeah, but you know, my skin is vastly different to a human.
That's because you got superpowers.
You are literally a god, Zachariah.
I mean, really.
You know those are your parents?
Well, I've never really asked them about.
Let's not get Zachariel questioning if his parents are really his parents. That's kind of a deep,
No,
traumatic kind of experience.
they're not anymore, so I guess that makes sense.
Any more? McCall says, questioningly.
Yeah, I ran away from home.
Oh, that.
What, you know about it?
Well, with all the fantastic things I've been experiencing, I thought you meant that you discovered that your parents weren't actually your biological parents.
I don't know. To my knowledge, they are.
Birds up, Crad says as he puts down a plate of steaming hot food. And McCall kind of loses his self and he just starts devouring it.
it smells alright.
Definitely passable food.
Is it to my standard?
It's a little under.
Yeah, I thought so. This must be, Zachariel thinks to himself, this must be what, Chaticus' food tastes like.
That's gonna be a thing.
At some point. I think we will transition to Delia. Walking and popping in on Renwick. Rook has accompanied you. And as you enter the door, Delia.
Hi.
What was going on?
Okay, so it's a crazy story. So we go down into this little nexus thing, right? And then we fought Aerisi, who's like,
The air prophet?
yeah. And she turned into lightning, and her like little occultist people around her dropped this like orb thing. And we found out that the orb was essentially a bomb that would like let loose the storm that you saw. So we were like, well, we really need to take care of this. So we figured since the monastery was like deserted, we could like safely detonate it over there. And I had this really cute little tiny hut, and it was actually kind of a cool experience.
Wow. It was wise to do it higher up in the mountains. I'm sure you gave a fright to all of the miners, though.
Oh, we didn't think about them. But yes, it was probably very scary. I feel a little bad now.
Did you find the Earth portal for Iron Fang?
No, that is, I think, what. Well, I think we're going to Fourth Stride next. Because we rescued someone down in the Nexus. And we're going to escort them back. And apparently they're like militia defectors in the Northal Woods, right outside of Fourth Stride. And we're kind of worried about maybe another attack on Fourth Stride. So we're kind of juggling the continually dispelling the magic on them.
He says, oh, would you like some help with that before you leave?
I mean, that's very sweet of you. So yes.
He leans and he says, I have slots to spare. There hasn't been
Okay.
He's got big slot energy. What do you want?
Big mage energy.
He's got big slots and he cannot lie.
I forgot my mic wasn't muted.
Other
Sorry.
may just
he he that gives him pause. Delia wiggling her eyebrows, and Rook gives a little chuckle. By the way, Renwick has been speaking Gnomish the entire time. He has plenty of time to learn things. Had plenty of time to learn things.
Your Gnomish is very fluent.
Well, I've had plenty of time to practice.
I
Well,
think both the weapons are with everybody else right now. I mean, I don't have them, so they probably are.
he does something that you might not expect from a centuries-old lich. He puts his hands on his thighs and he just kind of... Well then, is there anything else I can do for you? Roll a perception check.
Oh god, okay.
You don't see it. He asks you if there's anything else.
Delia kind of digs her toe into the floor. I'm not sure.
Something about the forest fire? Says Rook.
Rook, you are a godsend. Zachariah wanted me to ask you if you've heard anything about the fires going on in the Conadir Forest.
Oh! He says, I've changed my familiar into a hawk. The fire stopped. As of last night, at least.
Oh, well, that's good. Good news, yay.
There's still some smoldering, but it doesn't seem to be spreading anymore. There's always been something odd about that forest. I couldn't put my finger on it. I'm surprised the fire didn't spread more than it did. It is the middle of summer.
Well, Delia knows that GTF went down there, right?
Yep.
You do.
Okay. Well, there's another group of adventurers who are really cool and really fun that are working with the Way Shields that were headed that direction to help out. So I'm sure they had something to do with it.
He nods. And he says, it's good to know that we have more allies. Rook then looks to Delia and says, maybe we can get that help with closing portals.
That is a very good idea. I will have to contact them.
Is there anything else you'd like to do in this scene?
No,
All right.
not.
Scene. What else are you guys doing in the tavern? Just kind of getting your drink on and kind of relaxing for the day?
Yeah, I will also eat some of this lesser food.
It's all right.
I'll help myself to some of the lesser food too.
Go ahead and spend 5 gold pieces to just cover whatever you guys end up eating, drinking.
Yeah, I pay for it.
All right. Yeah. The day is spent recuperating. You guys did do a lot
Over the past couple of days.
between the Earth Cult Temple and then delving into the Fane of the Eye, aka the Nexus. Is there any other scenes, any other things you want to address before I pass the day, or is there any? Are you guys gonna leave in the day? Are you gonna spend the day and the night here?
I think
It's
we
cool with
probably
it. I'm fine taking the day off.
I'll let everybody know about the Conadir Forest and that the fire seemed to have stopped.
Hum's
Oh,
gonna
really?
go out and check on Lucy too.
Lucy's all good. By the way,
Since you guys have decided to take the day off,
I want to make space for you to experiment with the chimes. Should you please?
Delia, welcome. Come in, have some food, drink.
Does Delia go to the tavern? Eventually?
I thought she just said she came in and told us about the forest.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Yeah, after a little while of just visiting and being generally awkward around Renwick. And then I'll come into the tavern and I'll say, well, good news, everyone.
You and Red Wicker thing?
No,
Oh, okay.
that's still in the works. But the fires in the Conadir Forest seem to have stopped.
That is good news.
Good news. Tadias now knows the difference between gnomes and halflings.
Also good news.
It appears pointy ears matter.
Oh, another way you could think about it. Gnomes are like humans with pointy ears, only tiny. And halflings are like elves with round ears, in short.
Delia.
I thought it was out of character. I thought it was the other way around. That
I think that's a joke. that that Kitty's is making.
It is.
Oh.
There's no reason not to believe her.
Delia, did you catch Renwick up on things?
Yes, I did, and he offered to help us with Iron Fang and Windvane for the day.
Excellent. So did he have any input to say on how the marshal turned into black smoke and went back inside the dais?
You know,
Oh, we
that's
didn't mention that.
something I forgot to mention to him.
And what about the slots on the side of the raised dais for the different weapons? Did he have any idea what that may do?
You know,
It's so easy to get lost in his eye skull sockets, you know.
sometimes, it just didn't come up naturally in the conversation.
I see.
Start hearing
Rook
Lost in
leans-
Your Eyes playing.
Rook leans to Hum and says, "Does she like him?"
That's the easy way of putting it.
Huh. Everyone has a type, I guess.
All right. Well,
Yep.
Delia, no offense, but you've just proven that we need to go with you when you go to see him.
I mean, to be fair, I somehow forgot to mention that too.
Yeah, Rook, I have no excuse for you. I guess the travel. You're not an adventurer, right? Maybe you just slipped your mind from all the hardship that we've endured.
I mean, it's been a hell of a ride.
Yeah, see? I don't blame you for forgetting.
At that point, he kind of just like cocks an eyebrow and looks at Zachrael. Okay,
So I guess we should go talk to Renwick again.
do you want to play that out, or do you just want to tell him?
I'll just tell him.
Do you want to go fill him in again?
So he is more. Oh, geez, he is more. He has no real comment to make. He just says, "Oh, it follows with the weapons that they would have like a place to go back to." He supposes that the whole thing with Marshal Chanzal is that he might be linked to what's going on with the elemental cults in some
Well,
way.
we also know about like the thing from Akka, right? Because didn't they mention that in the fight where he was like the avatar or whatever of whatever?
Did you mention to him all that stuff that happened at Akka? Or the whole thing about the chain, the whole thing about the chain god?
Yeah, I think we would have brought that up. God talk is a little weird.
He says that he isn't really. Let's see. Let me think.
Is there a religious lich in the land?
Well, he would know lore. But he doesn't have much knowledge of this particular set of cults.
Hmm.
The chain god, anyway. He says all he has to offer is that there are some stories that tell of a god that did something so damaging to the natural order that they were locked out of existence itself.
Hmm. Great.
Hey, does Tadias ever nap in the middle of the day?
If enough alcohol's involved, I'm assuming. I can say I fell out of my stool and I hit my head for a second. And I
Oh,
lost
Jesus. Okay.
If we're going away, I think we're going just to give me a minute of unconsciousness first.
I should have done this.
Angelness.
I should have done this on the way back. So, at some point, Tadias nods off. I don't know how it happens. But, he's relaxed. Or traumatized in the brain. But, there is a moment where his link to the physical world, his physical consciousness is offline, and your angel guide, Safinir, calls your attention to her area in the divine realm. And Tadias finds himself in a comfortable room with a balcony that's looking out onto a scenic mountain forest. And he's sitting on a couch, and who he recognizes as Safinir is sitting on an armchair. "You've done a lot," she says.
I look in my hand where there isn't drink anymore, and I kind of give out a break sigh. Yes, He's taking the day off. So nice of you to call.
She says, I have been busy. I would have gotten in touch with you when you actually were sleeping, but this will have to do. I have good news. The strange block seems to have been severed. Now that you have met his avatar, Tadias, the chained god you heard of from the cultists, and the mentioned lore found by Delia, its name is Therisdune. It is an ancient and extremely dangerous being, solely responsible for creating the plane known as the Abyss, where demons are sired. I'm gonna change the music to something better.
Spooky.
For this dark mark upon the plains, he was chained outside of the existence you know of, but its return is threatened by the elemental chaos that leaks through these portals. Tadias, the longer those portals remain open, the longer the discordic influence will change this very land. If left to follow, tears into the fabric of the material plane will start opening spontaneously, and would thereby weaken Therisdune's bonds further.
So it's a race. We must make haste.
It's the time frame is ambiguous. There's no real clock I can refer you to.
We struck down his avatar just for a moment. How long do we have until it returns?
Yes. While you did strike a blow. In older times, the cults of Therisdune, the prophet and avatar could be killed, but would return to life until their works were destroyed. In this case, the portals.
All right. It gives us a direction. That's useful.
I've also finally broken through to Helm, my patron. You'll notice in the coming days that you and your allies will grow much stronger as you seal the portals. We can assist in the natural development of certain mortals, and the situation here is dire enough.
I pretend to know how that works, but we'll take any aid we can get.
She smiles. Good luck, Tadias. I'll contact you again. Should you need any more information.
Right. It's been a lot. But it's nice to know that we have only a few more steps to be done with it.
She smiles and the light fades into view, washing her out. And you wake up. Where do you wake up?
I'm gonna just say I kind of nodded off at the bar for a second. Seems most appropriate. So I just kind of I turned to see people talking or look around. I don't know if my party's gone or not, but
Somebody could have noticed that I nodded off. It's up to you.
I'm just gonna kind of shoot up really quickly from the bar, like I had a nightmare, like I landed in the nightmare, falling dream.
You alright? Says Mikhail.
It, right. Yeah, I'm fine.
Kind of puts his fingers into his temple for a little bit.
Just
He has a hard time holding his liquor.
more and more recently.
Are there any other scenes you'd like to do?
Well, Hum's going to go out and check on Lucy. And when she does, she wants to ring the chimes a little bit.
Alright. Let's bring that handout out. I'll do a show to players so you don't have to search for it. What do you got so far? A bunch, but there are some missing.
So Hum's just gonna, she's gonna go out into the field where there's no people
All right.
and ring the chimes a couple times. So over here in K, right here, she's gonna stand and ring the chimes.
All right. Let's roll that d20. Oh, did you get a call? Oh, a 5. A 5, okay. So you can go up to 15.
She's going to subtract.
Subtract.
She's going to subtract 1 from it.
Okay. Let's see here. Items. Okay. For 4. Oops. So you notice as after you do this, there's a really nasty fly that was bugging you. Just like literally just like whacking Hum's like head, just like ramming her. And when she rings the chime and experiments with it a little bit, she sees that the fly freezes and drops to the ground. The air around a random hostile creature chills violently until the beginning of their next turn, their speed 0. And your next, or sorry, it should say their next. D20 roll is made with disadvantage.
Oh. She rolls again.
All right. Two.
And she is going to, let me see. She's going to subtract 1 again.
All right, for 3.
What? No, that's 1.
That's 1.
Wait, which one?
She subtracted 1 from 2 to get 1, not 3.
Sorry. I don't know how to contextualize this. It's same fly. It shot 20 feet into the air and then lands on its back on the ground. Dang it. Took up the formatting of the thing above it. Horrid ringing. It's a really, really gross sound. A random hostile creature is blown up to 20 feet in the air and falls prone.
That's pretty awesome. She rolls 1 more time. She's going to add 10 to that.
All right. That fly had friends, and they're all very angry, and they start banging at Hum. They're just ramming their bodies against Hum, not doing any damage to her, but it's clear they have a grudge against her. She rings the chimes 1 more time, and all of a sudden you can feel this burst of energy, and you disappear with the wind, and you cast Steel Wind Strike without any other components other than the chimes.
Oh my god.
That's scary.
Boom.
Hum kind of giggles like she just did, like I just did.
You
Fantastic.
did like an anime samurai power right there. Wow.
So I'm guessing since she has only 3 rings, she has used up her rings for the day.
She has.
And she kind of skips back to, she doesn't even kind of skip back. She skips back to the bar to tell Delia all about what she's found out.
Delia is extraordinarily impressed. You have to show me that next time so that I can study it.
Absolutely. I can't wait until we go into battle again. Chan is as awesome as Suni. Maybe a little bit more awesomer.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Ah, thank you.
You hear Chan say in your mind.
She thinks she's pretty awesome too. Do you know she talks to me?
That's pretty incredible.
Oh, you must be so crazy. You're talking to your chimes.
Says the man with the shovel love.
Yeah, that's my sarcasm leaking out. Everyone laughed at Zakro when he was talking to his shovel. Now
Well,
you know.
normalized it. Now you normalized it for us.
Now you know.
And knowing is half the battle.
I just hope that someday the rest of you can have a friend that you can talk to in your most dire times. A companion that you can wade into battle with. Not those two that you have tonight. Perhaps a nicer one.
What are you referring to when you say that?
The 2 evil implements that are on my back.
Oh, those. Okay.
The spear and the
Got it.
mace,
Got it. I got it.
the war pick, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
I had a bomb and like 2 evil artifacts. I was just like harboring all this monstrous death on my back for so long. Yes, hey, I'm not worried about it. We need to find this portal and dispose of these, but this day was needed.
Oh, it's great to relax when you can, but I worry that maybe we shouldn't have done this today, considering we know what looms outside of 4th Strike. But perhaps we
Well,
could send
we
a
have
message
the
to Gordon.
carts.
What?
Couldn't we take the carts to 4th Stride? It feels like we could get there very quickly.
But yeah, but I mean, I'm all for relaxing, but I would like, maybe we can get Renwick to send Gordon a message, or Delia if you want to do it.
Delia does have slots.
Do you want me to tell him about the people in the Northall Woods?
Yes.
Okay, I gotta figure out a message.
Before you send them anything, there might be something worth sharing. I was going to wait until later, though. So, our scaly friend is in leagues with a chained god, as you know.
Yes.
I
That makes sense.
was given a few more details about it.
By whom?
Has Thaddeus never told them about Safnir?
No.
Okay. This is a big moment.
Do you know how I can grow the wings?
Yes.
There's... At the same time, I could
do that as I first learned to do that, something came and spoke to me.
Okay.
And the entity called itself Saphani. It happens to be an angel.
I never took you for the religious type, Thaddeus.
I wasn't. But this angel, he's been guiding me through many things. And there was a connection blocking her from telling me certain things. She was unable to speak the name of this creature, this god that is chained outside of existence. The elemental planes and these portals, the calamity, it all potentially brings it back. It's all linked to it. And our friend that we struck down, the one that Vox's dagger used to belong to, is his avatar. And he is not done with us.
Okay, well, that's terrifying. And also, I guess you already have a thing that you talk to, so that's also weird.
The advice was that these portals need to be closed quickly. That they are the most important thing for us to be tasked to do. And,
Okay, well, that's
if it makes you feel any better, I hear that Safanir intends to give us boons as we close them. Instill powers to help us grow in strength.
all right.
Should we deal with the portal first then? We can tell Gordon about the people that are in the woods, and they can maybe.
Well, I think maybe he can get the other group to redirect to them if they're done in the woods.
Might be best. We're already here. The Earth portal has to be somewhere here.
I mean, it's gonna be connected to the Nexus, no matter what.
But we also have to get Mikhail to Force Strike.
Are there no way shields posted here that we can hire to take him back?
No. All of them were recalled to Force Stride.
Could he take a cart?
He could, but he has no way of defending himself.
What if he stayed here in Orboro until we've at least closed the Earth portal?
Then we could watch him.
Absolutely.
You think it's wise? Well, yeah, I guess that could work. I was really looking forward to getting that box so we could stop wasting our resources, or your resources, on that.
We'll half our waste if we can get rid of one of them.
True. Maybe, does Renwick have a workshop here? Does he workshop things? Or does he just read?
Speaking of
He has made magic items for you in the
weapons,
past. Go on.
speaking of weapons, how is the degradation of those weapons going?
Since Renwick's here, I'm not worrying about it until you leave Fort Orboro.
Oh, okay.
I assume at some point somebody casts. At this juncture, there's no threat. Because you have an 18th level spellcaster.
Well, you know, Renwick is... Well, I actually don't know that. How has Renwick been faring since we've been at the temple? Have things been busy here?
He did express to Delia that there hasn't been any attacks from Ankegs since you guys left the first time to go to the Earth Cult Temple. And you haven't seen any Ankegs on the way through the tunnel either.
Do we think it would be wise, or maybe not, to leave Windvine with him so he could take care of that. I imagine this portal is not going to be, just out in the open with no one defending it to get to it.
It's a wise move. It makes it safer.
And also, to my knowledge, the cult don't know where we are right now, so they maybe wouldn't know where Windvine is. Plus, Aerisi is dead, so...
Sounds like a safe bet.
We could ask him at least to see if he would be in favor of doing that, just until we can go back and find the Earth portal and then come back and get it.
Maybe we should all go visit him.
Was that the sound of us going to?
Yeah, it was.
Okay. Renlick,
Where
good
does
day.
that thing go? Huh. Welcome, Zachariel. And he says everyone's names. Where did Fox's token go?
She ran away from home?
Oh, this is on the... Okay.
I'll take care of it.
Delia has a question for you. I nudge her forward.
So we were wondering if maybe you would be able to help out our friend here. And I'll motion to Mikhail. Because we've gotten information that we need to be closing the portals as soon as possible. So we're going back in to close the Earth portal. And are we leaving Windvane here too?
You want to leave the weapon in my care? He says.
I look to everybody else for confirmation.
Yeah.
It feels like it would be safer in your care than us carrying it around. And possibly, if something bad were to happen, to have 2 weapons taken from us.
And you asked about... I'm sorry, my brain spazzed out. You asked if you would look after Mikhail too?
Yeah.
You'll like him, Renwick. He's a magical inventor as well.
Is he now? And Mikhail kind of like looks nervous. And then Renwick looks to Delia and says, "Do you think he could handle..." Then he winks.
I can look at him and
He's in disguise right now,
I'll
obviously.
say, I think so. I mean, he did witness Chanzal being... Did he witness that?
He did.
He did witness Chanzal getting, like, sucked into a ziggurat. So, I mean, stranger things have happened to him.
Well, nice to meet you, Mikhail. I'm Renwick. I am a lich. And Mikhail's jaw hits the floor. Are you going to...
He's a good lich.
Who have you... And, like, you see his mind, like, working furiously. And he looks around, he says, who has he been taking for his, what do you call it, the thing that keeps him alive? And then Renwick pipes up and says, No, that's a long story. I don't tend my own phylactery, as strange as it sounds. Oh? Yes, I'll tell you all about it, but... What I'm saying is I have a lot of experience, and I think you'll be interested in what I can teach you in the short time we're about to spend together. Mikal, like, blinks. It's better than being forced to make maddening dust, I suppose. I'll stay here.
Great.
We'll get you back to Fourth Stride as soon as we can, but this is a pressing matter.
Alright. I appreciate all the help you've given me so far. I can't really complain. You've saved me. Scene? What do you guys do next? It's evening by now.
Oh, I want to send ascending to Gordon.
Ah. What sending do you send to sending?
I will approve this with my party members before sending it.
Okay. Let's see here.
Seems sufficient.
Yeah, that looks good, yeah.
Okie dokie. We'll hit the send button.
You get a response that reads... Oh, wait. We have already been attacked. Raids on some farms. I'm planning to call my task force back. There's also a dragon beneath Fire Temple.
So I'm gonna turn to my party and say they're already attacking some farms, not like a full out siege. And there's a dragon. Like,
Do you think it's Melindris or Melindris or whatever her name is?
well, it's beneath the Fire Temple.
Didn't
So
we-
I don't know.
It sounds like we need to move towards them with a purpose tomorrow morning.
I thought we killed everything in that temple.
Apparently, we missed one giant reptile.
How do you miss a dragon?
Well,
Maybe it has levels like the one we were just in?
yeah.
If I remember how excruciating it was getting through that temple, I'm quite happy we didn't find it.
I got a call, guys.
We're just about to end, but I want to do one more thing because you're going to get another sending from Gordon.
I guess, like, in response to that... Oh, wait, he's going to send you one, then you respond. Right. That's how that spell works.
Yep.
Magic.
Have you told Gordon about Renwick?
I honestly don't
Question.
remember.
Well, Renwick's been, or not Renwick. Gordon's been around the block, so you decide if you've told him or not. This is something you can author. I'm not gonna be like, you didn't say you told him.
I mean, I don't really care. I think he's helped us out enough to where, Zachar wouldn't go and talk to, like, Spice Daddy and be like, oh, by the way, I know a witch. But Gordon's a little more trusted ally. So I would be fine with it. I guess it's up to his significant, maybe other.
Significant gnome.
I don't think Delia would spill the beans to law enforcement.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's been no reason for it to come up, so.
Okay. So Gordon's gonna hit you with this. Oh wait, hang on. Okay. This is...
I'm back.
Hello. Sorry, I'm having trouble developing this message. Oh, you know what? He's going to cast it at a higher level, which is important. Okay. Here we go. We ought to develop a coordinated plan of attack with everything we know, if possible, in my war room, with everyone in force stride. He has a strong sense of, like... You get the strong tone of, a commander in that message.
I will relay that to everyone else and say, do we have time to even... I think it's really important that we at least close the Earth portal.
Well, if we close the Earth portal, we can come out in the Earth Woods, and we're closer to the forest side.
Consider the workaround to get back closer.
But we come back here and grab Mikaela and the Windvine, and then motor on down in the carts. Either way, I don't think we should go back, and you should tell them that we have to close this portal.
Okay.
After Delia sends this message, we'll close the session.
Okay.
Should I ask about the dragon? Although I'm responding to a sending, so
Delia's spent enough time hearing Gordon talk to know that he's implying that he wants to have another sit down. I don't know if that'll affect what you're going to message back, but yeah. By the way, this is a higher level, so you have 30 words to work with.
oh my god.
Sorry.
So much room for activities.
Elder Scrolls music, man.
Good.
Never gets old. And I've never even played the games.
Okay, this is what I have.
Read it aloud for the class.
We will be closing the Earth portal and using the Nexus connecting each cult to return to Fourth Stride as fast as we are able.
Okay. You don't get any other sendings that night? And I assume that you'll spend the night in Orboro, wherever you may.
I would like to do so.
Okay. And we'll close the session. And I think next week we'll do GTF.
Hell yeah.
Sweet.
Good night, Joy.
Good night, Joe.
Night, Joy.
Hi, Joy.
Now, are we having a cooking battle at this next sit down?
Do we have time for a cooking battle?
Just the whole like place is on fire and like there's elemental chaos and torrents coming out and everywhere. And we're just sitting here like with like a barbecue. D&D equivalent of this is fine.
What do you mean this is weird? Come on.
It's not like the world's ending.
Okay, sorry guys, I gotta